Hello, everyone. Welcome to Explore Classroom. My name is Jennifer Bergen. I am a teacher and a National Geographic Explorer. I'm also your host today. At National Geographic, we believe that anyone, we mean it, anyone can be an explorer. And you've got the power to make a difference in the world, no matter how old you are. Many of us are tuning in today as a part of the Explorer Classroom Wildlife series, and we are learning about wildlife globally, but taking action locally. So thank you so much for joining us for our third event in the series. We're also celebrating a special week, do you know? It's Geography Awareness Week, and explorers love geography. I hope you do too. We are highlighting the importance of our interconnectedness in the world. Geography is so much more than maps, so make sure that you're celebrating this week with us. Some of you may be wondering, hey, if this is the wildlife series, where's Gibbs? He's usually the host for the show. Well, fear not, my friends, Gibbs is going to come back. But Gibbs is actually out exploring right now, so we're going to give him that opportunity, and I'm so happy to be with you today. When he returns for our next episode on November 30th, he's going to be with us for our fourth event in the series with Joel Sartore. You will not want to miss this. I'm not going to miss it either. So before we get into today's lesson, I'd like to welcome all of our classes that are registered and joining us, especially Mrs. Barksdale class, Russell at School, 5-6 House A, Northvale students, Fernleaf 6th grade Hellbenders, Strands Classroom, and IMS JAG. We're so glad that you and so many more are joining us today. Today, our explorer is Roxanne Beltran. Roxanne is a marine biologist who studies the behavior and tracks the movement of elephant seals. She wants to know, how do they survive and thrive in the open ocean? Roxanne's home base is at the University of California, Santa Cruz, but she and her team are studying the elephant seals at Año Nuevo State Park in Pescadero, California, and that's just a short drive away from the university. This means she is so lucky because she's in the field almost every week. Now, to find out the elephant seal's secret of avoiding predators and raising their pups safely, Roxanne and her team track some of the individual elephant seals for many, many years. And today, she's on a quest to find those seals once again out on the beach. So we're about to share a video diary of her work in the field. You're going to see that Roxanne is out on the beach with some of her students, and they're doing what's called a re-sight. They're looking for the tagged elephant seals, and very specific elephant seals that the team has attached a scientific instrument or a tool onto their body. Now, this scientific tool is safe for them, and it helps the team collect important data all about the seals. So let's go check out her video diary and get into the field with Roxanne.
Good morning. My name is Roxanne Beltran. I'm a National Geographic Explorer, and I'm out here at Año Nuevo today with my team doing some observations of elephant seals. We're going to try to track down a couple seals that we know are here and might have satellite tags on their heads that we need to recover for our research study. So come along and enjoy the beautiful sunrise with us.
Yeah, my name's Allie, and I just graduated from Santa Cruz this past school year, and we're out here doing re-sights this morning, which basically means we're looking for flipper tags or marks that the seals have.
We're hoping to see some flipper tag elephant seals for our census.
What are you doing, Maddie?
Just setting up the data sheet.
What are you gonna write?
I'm gonna write the weather, the name, and then all the areas where we see all the seals.
Amazing!
Oh, my stars. Are they cute or what? What an amazing way to start your morning. And these animals are so unique. Now, Roxanne was just telling us that she and her team are out looking for seals that they know will be on the beach. They know this because they put satellite tags on some of the seals in order to collect information for their research. Some of you might be familiar with satellite technology. It's the kind of technology that you'll find, in a smartphone. It creates maps and it helps you know where to go when you're trying to drive somewhere new, or maybe if you're traveling on a vacation and you need to get to a location you've never been to before. So you all look like you could be young biologists out there, and I think I've got a question for you. What kinds of information do you think Roxanne and her team could get from pulling satellite tags on an animal? And Roxanne's not the only scientist who does this. Lots of researchers put a satellite tag on an animal. Students, would you share with your teacher or your adult? And adults, start typing the answers in the chat bar. Why would we put a satellite tag on an animal, and what can we learn from that? All right, we've got a couple coming in. We've got a group that says, we want to know where the animal is right now. Somebody else wants to know, how far away is the animal from its home? ISA Online is sharing to find what regions they return to. Yeah, so maybe they're making repetitive movements. Miss Campos' class wants to know, where has the animal been and where is it going? Mrs. Galetta's World Wonders wants to know, where are they going to breed, to live? Are they staying in the water? And Mrs. Waller's Wolves want to know, are they still alive? Is there any movement at all? Are they migrating? Thank you, Fernleaf. Are they migrating? What a great scientific word. Rencia wants to know, is there migratory information that we can learn? Let's see. We're seeing a lot about, where are they going? Where have they been? Are there certain places they're finding food? That's right. As Hogan's class, are there places where they're going for feeding? All right. Well, these are some wonderful answers. Thank you. Yeah, I asked Roxanne this very same question earlier, and she has confirmed that many of us are correct. Her team puts satellite tags on the seals to find out, where do they go when they travel? And what is the path that they take to get there? So it seems like Natalie, the field technician on Roxanne's team, is ready to tell us a little bit more about the project that Roxanne and her team are working on. So let's tune in and let's learn from Natalie and what she has to tell us.
Hello, we are out here today on the beach. I have a crew over here, and we are searching for specific elephant seals that have their own individual little flipper tag, almost like their name tag for their whole life. And we come out here and we use cameras and binoculars to search for these animals. And once we find them, we write down their flipper tag or name tag, and we keep track of them their whole lives. And we use that information to answer a ton of questions about how elephant seals avoid predators like killer whales and sharks, how they raise their young, where they go while out in the ocean, and how often they come back to the place they're born. Once we find an animal that we have kept track of throughout its life, we will approach it ever so slightly so we can get a better look at its little flipper tag or the mark.
So our team here just found this animal. As you can see, there's that white little tag in its back flipper. And that is sort of like the animal's name tag. That's how we keep track of them throughout their lives. So when we come out and we look with cameras and binoculars, this is what we're searching for. And the little tag has a series of numbers on it. And we record that and put it into our computer, and that's how we keep track of animals year after year.
So as you can see here on this little guy, he has a mark on his side. And so in addition to giving them little flipper tags on their back flippers, we will paint these marks onto their side. We use black hair dye.
And this makes the animal even easier to find when they are in large groups or we can't get as close to them. We want to limit disturbance, and so this allows us to spot this animal from much, much further away. So you can see the mark on its side is a lot easier to see and read than that tiny little green tag that's on its back flipper.
Oh my gosh, hair dye, tags. I'm loving all of this. We've just learned how Roxanne and her team are using the flipper tag and the painted markings to tell us which individual seal they've been tracking. And when her team finds the seals they're looking for, they'll write down some information about these seals in their notepad. So I'm wondering, what do you think the teammates are writing down? What information do you think it's important for Roxanne to study? All right, on the screen, you're going to see some options representing what the team could be writing, and we would like for you to pick 4 that you believe are the most important for Roxanne's study. Again, look at this list. We want your top 4 picks. A, location of the seal. B, the seal's size. C, its tag or marking ID. D, is the seal male or female? E, what's the seal's age? F, its color. And G, its behavior. All right, so we're going to see the results coming in. Go ahead and share them. All right, I've seen, okay, we've got Mrs. Waller's wolves. They are thinking size, the tag ID, the location, and the age. Yeah, Miss Waller's, I think they're all important, but we've got to pick 4. All right, ISA online, A, B, D, and G. So A, location, B, size, D, is it male or female, and G, what are the behaviors of the seal? All right, Mrs. Broderick's 3rd grade class is saying location, behavior, age, and the tag ID. Let's do a couple of more. I'm noticing a lot of A's. Location is important. I'm also noticing a lot of C's, the tag or the marking ID. Let's do a few more. Oh, somebody put H. I don't even see an H. Is H something other? If you think there's something we're missing, go ahead and share that with us. All right. Oh, we've got some of our YouTubers. Lordy is suggesting A, C, G, and B. So A, location, C, tag marking ID, G, their behavior, and B, their size. Not a lot of B's, but we've got some of them. No one is saying F for color. These are interesting. Natsu is saying A, C, E, and G, location, the tag ID, the age, and the behavior. I wonder. These are interesting. Well, I'm never going to tell you the answer. I'm not mean. It's because Madeline from Roxanne's team is going to give you the answer. So let's go ahead and hear from Madeline.
So this is where we record all of our data. It has a ton of information on it. Some of the most important stuff that we record is like where we find an animal, if it has a tag, what that tag is, if it has a mark, and then we also record like how old they are or if they're a boy or a girl.
All right. How many of you are accurate? Did you get at least 1 or 2? So the experts are saying that many of you are spot on. There is a lot of information that you can get from tracking an elephant seal, but the most important ones for Roxanne's specific study are location, the tag or the marking ID, is it male or female, and the age. Let's check back in with Roxanne at the beach.
All right, we are wrapping up an amazing day of research here. Got the team finishing up the last big group of seals. We were super successful, we're really happy. We saw a bunch of animals with flipper tags and with marks, and ones with little patches of epoxy from the satellite tags that they've been carrying this year. So we are super thrilled with how the day went. It's a beautiful, beautiful day out here. The seals are just hanging out, being themselves. It's always a treat to watch. So we're feeling pretty lucky that we get to do this for our jobs. We're going to head out here pretty soon, go back to the lab, enter some data, and do it all again next week.
What a fun job Roxanne has. I'm so glad that Roxanne has been taking us into the field and she's sharing so much about her research with us. And guess what? We're super excited to have Roxanne here live with us today to tell us all about a very special map that she's been creating with the information her team has gathered from all these tags. She's also going to be able to answer your big burning questions. So welcome to Explore Classroom, Roxanne.
Hi, so excited to see you all today. Thanks for coming and joining us.
Thank you for being with us and for taking us into the field with you. I love that there are so many seals on the beach and that your team is having a fun and safe experience while working together. In that last video, you said that you have to go back to your lab. Can you tell us a little bit more about why you have to go back to the lab? What kind of data are you collecting and taking with you? And how does this have anything to do with the map that you've made?
Yeah, those are all fantastic questions. So we're really interested in figuring out where the seals are going. Those are the sorts of discoveries that we're really excited about. And you all had great ideas about the kinds of questions we can ask, like where are the seals going? And where are they coming back to? And what are they doing? What are their behaviors when they're out at sea? So this is an example of the type of map that we can create from the data that the satellite tags collect on the seal. And these data are in real time. So right now there are seals swimming in the middle of the ocean. These are the seals. Those seals have instruments on them that are talking to the satellites, and the satellites are sending that data to our computers so we can see where the seals are, even though they're literally thousands of miles offshore. So these are the tracking data from the last 7 days of the adult female seals. And what I want you to notice is that some of the seals are really close to California. Like you can see that orange seal that's right off the coast. That one's probably just 100 or 200 or 300 miles away from where I'm sitting right now. But that dark green seal that's all the way on the left side, that seal is many, many months of swimming away from California. So there's a lot of differences between the seals. And that's one of the things that's really interesting to us. You may have heard of personality, right? Like I like science a lot and I like to do sports, but maybe some of my friends are different than me. Maybe they like to cook and maybe they like learning about history of the United States more than they like science. Those are what we call personalities in humans, and the seals are sort of the same. Some seals are different than others, and so we like to get more information about where they go, what they're doing, and how that's different across the different seals. But it's not just the adults that we track the juveniles too. So I want you to take a little mental image of this map. See how far away some of the adult females are? Now I'm going to show you an example of one juvenile's tracking data. And I want you to compare and contrast and see how it's different. So take a second to think about that. This juvenile, is it closer to shore or is it farther to shore than the adult females were? You'll probably notice it's a lot closer to shore. And one of the questions we have is, why are the juveniles spending so much time closer to shore than farther offshore? We think it's because they have smaller body sizes, and so they're just not as good at endurance sports. So they're just not as athletic and can't really make their ways offshore. But it's one of the research questions we're trying to answer right now. And so some people on my team are doing a lot of data collection and a lot of number crunching and math to figure out exactly where the seals are going as juveniles and adults and where they might go when they become adults. So it's always really special seeing the seals on the beach at Año Nuevo, like you saw in the videos, because we know how many great adventures they've had during their migrations to the open ocean. They know so much more about the ocean than we do. They know where the fish are, they know where the sharks are, they know how to avoid those sharks and how to find the fish. And so we can really learn a lot from partnering with the elephant seals and putting satellite tag transmitters on their head. And it's really fun to be able to make those discoveries. It's one of my favorite parts of my job. And I hope that you've been really excited to see how it is that we're able to track the elephant seals.
Oh, you're right. I mean, I can share that I'm excited about your work, and I'm already making hypotheses in my mind. Why are the juveniles staying so close? So thank you so much for sharing all of this beautiful research with us.
It's really amazing, isn't it? We feel really lucky to be able to track the animals. So I have a question, if that's okay, for all the classes that are out there. I want to ask you all. I know some of you have created maps of the animals in your neighborhood in the past week, and some of you may try to do that in the future. Good for you. I'm excited for you. I want to ask you, if you could map the path of any animal in the world, what would it be and where would it be? So students, please share your answers aloud with your teacher, and teachers, please type the answers into the chat box so that I can see them. Again, the question is, if you could map the path of any animal in the world, what would it be? My cats, yes. I would track my dog, Rye, who's sitting on the couch behind me. If you all didn't see that yet, you can say hi to Rye. All right, alligators. Whoa, that's so brave. Whales, definitely the biggest animal you could track. Great answer. Whale sharks. Oh my gosh, poison dart frogs, Komodo dragons. Wow, you guys are really brave. Yep, sharks, bobcats, hedgehog. Oh my goodness. Snakes, sugar gliders. Great answer. Snakes. We have axolotls, lizards, bunny, shark, duck-billed platypus, tiger, water snakes, deer, lions, cats, cougars, sharks, penguins. Whoa, this is amazing. Boa constrictors. Great answers. Yep, Discovery Elementary says cheetah. Miss Waller's Wolves says jaguars. Amazing. It looks like from YouTube, we have some great answers too. Yep. Taylor says spider monkey. Tristan from Colorado would track snakes in California. California is a great choice. Oh my gosh. Aro from Victoria's Homeschool says leopard seals or harp seals. I'm a big fan of seals. Great answer. We have blue jays, gorillas. Wow. This is incredible. I'll tell you that the science of all of you tracking all of these animals at the same time would be so cool for seeing differences in where land animals and sea animals go and how different movement patterns are in comparison to walkers and swimmers and flyers. So I would love to see you all track these animals. I think it would be really cool. Great ideas. I hope you guys get to actually track some of these animals someday, and I'll be checking in. I can't wait to see the results of your research.
I do too. I hope that one day we see all of these names of these young explorers in our research paper, maybe comparing their work to your work, Roxanne. Well, now we are going to kick off one of my favorite parts of every episode, the question and answer portion. If you are watching online, please send us your questions in the chat bar. We record all of them that are sent in, so you only need to send it once. And as you're typing, please share who is asking the question and where you are writing from, because we would love to give you a shout out. And we love geography, so we love to see where these questions are coming from. If you're an on-screen guest, get your voice nice and loud, because we're going to let you know when it is your turn. We have a question coming in from Lord at Victoria's Homeschool, and they want to know, how can you determine an elephant seal's age?
Yeah, we determine elephant seals' ages through a couple different things. When seals grow older, they get bigger, just like we do. And so we can get an estimate from looking at their bodies. I can look at an animal and guess, I think it's 2 or 3 years old, or I think it's 8 or 9 years old. But the data give us even a more precise answer, because we put those flipper tags out on the seals when they're babies. And so we know exactly which year they're born. And so every year that we see them, we can look up their flipper tag in our computer database and see what year they were born, and then calculate how old they are each year. So we're able to get extremely precise estimates. We actually know when a lot of the seals' birthdays are. So it's really fun to be able to see those data in our long-term database.
Well, one of our on-screen guests typed a question earlier. This is Mrs. Broderick's third graders, and they're wanting to know, is it possible that a seal would attack you when you're observing them or trying to tag them?
Yeah, so the seals really respect our space and we try to respect theirs as much as we can. So the seals are really kind of unafraid of us and will look at us and be like, oh, there's the researchers again. And they just check us out. They're curious. And then they usually go right back to sleep. So we don't have to worry about them sort of charging us or anything most of the time. I will say during the breeding season, it's a really exciting time on the beach. And some of the big, huge males are really full of all these reproductive hormones and they get really, really amped up. And so they're the ones that we're a little bit nervous about because they're so big and so fast and they're so focused on finding the females to mate with that we just don't want to get in their way. But as long as we stay out of their way and give them lots of space, then they are totally fine.
I think that's a sweet way that you guys get to interact with each other. Well, we have a question coming all the way from the Kingdom of Bahrain from Alalwi Sayed Hassan Abu Saiba Primary School. And these primary school students want to know, what do elephant seals eat?
It's such a great question. It's one of our research questions, actually, is trying to figure out what the elephant seals eat. And I know it's a simple question, like, what did I eat this morning? I had some coffee and a banana. But the seals are eating thousands of miles offshore and deep underwater. So what tool might we use to figure out what they're eating? Well, some of my colleagues actually use cameras that can be glued to the seals to basically watch the seals eat during their migrations. And what they've discovered is that seals eat a whole lot of fish and squid. And those are really high calorie, really fatty foods, so they can sustain the seals' large body sizes when they're out during their foraging migrations.
Well, we have a question from one of our on-screen guests. They typed earlier, as Hogan's class, the bridge class from Kingston, Ontario, would like to know, how long can an elephant seal stay underwater for? And this is coming from Cortland. So how long are they holding their breath?
It's pretty crazy. You won't even believe it. The elephant seals can hold their breath for 20 minutes at a time. And that's not even the maximum. That's how long they hold their breath on average. So during most of the migrations, most of the seals are holding their breath for 20 minutes underwater and then coming up to the surface to breathe for just a couple minutes. And they do that over and over again for months and months at a time. In terms of the longest dive ever, we think the seals can hold their breath for about 2 hours when they need to, which is pretty crazy. But, we've only been able to instrument a really small proportion of the seals that are in the population. And so it's probably that seals can actually hold their breath longer than we know about, and we just haven't measured it. So every time we put out tags, we think to ourselves, is this going to be the year that one of the seals breaks the record? And I bet you that record will continue to change throughout my research career.
Well, that's exciting, especially as they grow and evolve over time.
It's amazing. And as they get bigger, they get better and better at diving, which is pretty cool.
Oh, kind of like us. As we grow older, we get stronger at the things we practice. I went to go visit my elephant seal friends. I'm back now. No technical difficulties, right? It happens to all of us. So, Roxanne, did you get a chance to ask the question that you wanted to ask the audience yet?
I didn't. Should I go ahead to that?
I think you should. I think they're going to love it.
All right. So my question for you all is, what should you do if you're on a beach and you see a seal? What do you think you should do? So teachers, please type your students' answers into the chat bar. And again, the question is, what should you do if you're on the beach and you see a seal? Yeah. Mrs. Wallers-Wolf says, do not disturb it. I think that's a great answer. Yeah, Mrs. Galetta's World Wanders says, take a picture, maybe for iNaturalist, right? And give them their space. Yeah, give it space, let them be. Fantastic. Thanks, Mrs. Broderick's class. Yeah, do not touch the seal. Pro tips from young explorers. That's great. Do not try to feed them food. Yep, I can promise whatever snacks you have in your backpack, the elephant seals would not be interested in. Tell Roxanne, yes. Send me an email, let me know, I'd love that. Yep, walk away, look from a safe distance. We have fantastic answers coming in from YouTube also. Sophia says, respectfully distance. Yep. Lordy says, observe it. Totally. Yep. Be kind. Ooh, ISA Online says, try and figure out why it's there. Yep. You can do science from a distance with these guys, right? Just think about it. What do you think that seal's doing? Where do you think it went? Where do you think it came from? Yep. Yep. Make sure no one else goes close. That's great. You can carefully and gently protect those animals by reminding folks to give the seals space. Fantastic. Yeah, those are great answers. And so all of the work that you've seen my research team do today was collected under really careful scientific permits, right? So we have special permission to approach the seals and to mark and tag the seals. But even when we don't have our scientist hats on, when I'm just on the beach with my dog hanging out and I see a seal, I give that seal lots of space. I might try to figure out where it came from and think about it, but the best thing we can do is just let these animals do their thing and make some observations to maybe collect data for the next scientist that comes along.
Roxanne, thank you so much for your expertise. We're running out of time, but I've got one last question. Is it okay to ask you?
Yeah, of course.
So I know a lot of us are really inspired. I know I am. And we would love to have a message from you about what can we do as young explorers. So what can all of the students who are watching today do inspired by your work?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I think one of my favorite sort of parts of the explorer mindset is just being curious and really seeking out opportunities to learn and grow and become better. We can all do that every day, and it's really special. In terms of our natural world and the wildlife, we are so lucky to be on this planet and to be able to share it with all the wildlife that's out there. So I will say that you all are amazing. Your questions are fantastic. I hope you keep asking those questions, and whatever it is that you think is really exciting, that might even be a career path someday, just follow that dream and work hard and things will work out. And if you see an elephant seal on the beach with a flipper tag, definitely let me know, because that will help with our research. And I'm really excited to see those observations from all around the world. I'm really glad that I have 1,000 little explorers going around and checking that out for us. So thank you. High five. Thanks for being on our team, and good luck with all of the things you're doing.
Thank you, Roxanne, so much for joining us today.
It's really nice to be with you all. Take care.
And also thanks to our students, our homeschool families, our teachers. We wouldn't have as much fun without you. So thank you for participating today. Now we have a mission for you before we sign off. All of the students participating as part of our wildlife series this week, your mission is tell a wildlife tale. No, not the kind of tale like a cat, a tale like a story. As you practice what it takes to become your own explorer, we want you to imagine a day in the life of a local animal. And what would that be like? How could you tell that story just the way Roxanne talks to us about the elephant seals? Teachers, please use your educator guide to learn more about this mission, and we're here to support you. Thank you everyone for joining our third episode of the Explore Classroom Wildlife Series. Next week, we're going to be taking a little break. For those of you who celebrate and are in the United States, you know Thanksgiving break is coming up. So a lot of our kiddos in America will be off from school and businesses will be closed. But don't worry, we'll meet again, like I said, November 30th with explorer Joel Sartore. He is a National Geographic photographer, and he's the founder of the Photo Arc. I love the Photo Arc. You do not want to miss this episode. He's going to talk about behind the scenes stories on his quest to document all of the species in human care through his camera lens. So every single animal that humans are helping take care of, he's going to document them all. And he's also going to tell us why photography is such a powerful storytelling tool. Have a great day, everyone. Stay curious. Give the elephant seals some space. Tag them on iNaturalist and keep exploring. We will see you all next time. Bye.